keys today that we're going to talk about is focus. The focus is big recruiting, right? And everything that we share with y'all today is not just how to get a couple of recruits, but how to get massive recruiting going, massive recruiting going in your organization, right? And so with that being said, everybody has to have a big recruits mindset as we get started. And so let's deal with some basics, right? I think the first thing we got to talk about, if you're serious about recruiting big, right? Recruiting big, you got to understand the purpose of recruiting in the first place, right? And the number one purpose of recruiting, I don't care where you at, is to build a team. Yes, we provide products and services to help families in our communities get to financial freedom. But when you think about the purpose of why I'm adding somebody to my team or giving somebody an opportunity, it is to build a team of people that can help more families at the same time, right? That's the number one thing, because if you know the purpose, you will actually know what to start. So, if the number one purpose of recruiting is to build a team, you say, what's the number one purpose of building a team? And this is something that helped us over the years explode our recruiting, right? But in anything, I don't care if it's a sport, I don't care if it's the military, a corporation, a fraternity, a sorority, but the number one purpose, not the only purpose, but the number one purpose of building a team is to beat other teams, right? On your way to becoming the number one team. And if there's anybody on this Zoom who's serious about building getting recruiting going, you've got to start selling being the number one team in your area, right? Putting the most people in business in your area, right? And as you see at the bottom, it says competition makes recruiting more people actually makes sense, right? When you keep in mind, team, this company that we have the opportunity to take advantage of wouldn't even be in existence if it wasn't for somebody saying we're gonna take over an industry, we're gonna take over the whole territory, right? And so that's the first thing. So now that you understand, okay, man, the reason why I'm getting recruited, the reason why I want more people on my team is to take over a territory. Now we're going to talk about some key points to really maximizing a particular area from recruiting. So the first thing is this, right? If you're going to be a big recruiter, right, you got to identify your prototype, right? So Shabazz going to take it away from there.
Yeah, that's important because listen, I think the first thing you have to do when starting to build a big team is you have to make a list of the characteristics that you want these people on your team to have. Go through and list them. You know what I'm saying? Every time I get on a Zoom, I'm telling people who I'm looking for, because if I'm specific about who I'm looking for, it makes it easier for my team to bring more people that fit into that group, right? So first you make that list, you get specific about who you want to have on your team, and then second, you want to go and see if you fit in that category, right? You can't say you want somebody resilient, somebody that's committed, that's going to be getting skilled important, right? You can't make this list of things that you don't even fit in. So make a list of people, make sure that you fit those characteristics. I know when I'm on Zoom, I'm telling people, listen, I'm looking for a woman that knows she's supposed to be big time. She knows she's supposed to be successful. She's supposed to be on top. She just wants somebody to help her with the mentorship, the guidance, the industry, to help her get there. I'm looking for a woman that hate having a boss, because man, if you love the boss you have, it's going to be hard for me to teach you how to become one. I'm looking for a woman that want to do something really big with her life, not just play small where it can only bless her house, but play big where it could bless her house, everybody that's connected to her, the community, the churches. You understand that? I want a woman that's frustrated and ready to change right now. So I make a list of these people that I want to have with the specific qualities, and then the first thing I go do is I go fight to become who I want, because 9 times out of 10, who you are is who you will attract, right? So if you want to attract a certain type of people on your business team, then you have to make sure you get specific about who you want, and then you become the person you want to recruit on your business team, right? So and then the next thing here is that environment is everything. You have to have an environment for your recruits to grow in. You have to have soil to harvest, to get fertile. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and so when you think about environment, one of the things you got to think about is this, right? We've heard for so many years, we are in the people business. But from a recruiter standpoint, no, you got to adjust that. No, if you're thinking big recruiting, we are not in the people business. We are actually in the people bringing more people business, right? So when you think of your environment, right, don't just think about bringing people. No, you got to ask you, what am I bringing them to? what type of energy am I bringing them to? What type of attitude am I bringing them to? I think one of the things that all leaders all over the country have to think about when focused on growing big recruiting is, what is it about myself as a leader, or what it is about my organization that makes one person want to bring another person? Mm-hmm. That's $1 million question, right? Not 100 people. No. What makes, if you can get down to something that the answer of what makes one person want to bring one more person to be a part of my thing, man, your numbers are going to skyrocket, right? But environment is everything, because people are products of the environment, right? Next thing is this. I think you got to master telling your personal story. That's big. Man, even though people work on presentation, no, I think one presentation everybody needs to master is your personal story, your reasoning for why you got started in the first place, or your reasoning for moving forward, right? And so when you got started, what was something, or what would you say was your defining moment that got you started?
You know, my defining moment, I always say when I'm talking to people, is the AALC. When I went to the AALC and I saw girls that looked like me, when I heard Lisa Jones speaking and she was a single mom, when I saw girls that was looking like me, that was my age, that was making, you know, the amount of money that they were making, experiencing the success that they were experiencing, that was a defining moment for me. At that time, on that day, I decided I had to take this thing serious. Right? And so when you're talking to somebody about your personal story, you have to share, like, what made you get started, but what was that moment that said, you know what, I'm about to take this thing to the next level. I need to take this a little bit more seriously. And for me, that was important. I always tell my team, your team should be closed on the personal story. They should be ready to go. And then when we show them the presentation, we're just showing them what we're doing and the fundamentals in this company.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, I think so many people get caught up in, what do I need to say about Primerica, right? I got to find the right thing to say about Primerica, but you don't realize, especially for African Americans, people have to feel you before they follow you. They got to feel you. I don't care what information you share with them, if they don't feel you, if they don't feel your energy, your excitement, your passion about the opportunity you provide to them, then they won't take it as serious as you take it, right? Always remember that people got to feel you to follow you. And the way that they do that is by you mastering communicating your personal story. Now watch this. This does not say your personal struggles. I think a lot of people get your story and struggle. No, I don't want to know your struggle. Your story is not your struggle. Does that make sense? You overcoming your struggle is your story. I'm going to say it again. Your story is not your struggle, right? No, you overcoming your struggle is your story. Does that make sense? And when you, especially if you brand spanking new, all people need to know from you is, what made you move forward? That's it. What made you move forward? What was the thing that clicked? What was the thing that snapped that made you say, you know what? I got to make a change and make a change now. That is everything. We spend lots of time teaching people how to master their personal story, because it's everything to connection and recruiting, right? Next thing is this, man. You got to understand the power of using reality checks, right? Not just statistics, but reality checks. See, on the screen it says we all got solution numbers. Everybody that gets started in business, we all have solution numbers. But always remember this: a solution has no power without a problem present. So part of big recruiting is we're going to give some examples, but it's, you got to create problems with people's income. Like, it's hard to, if you don't showcase to me what's wrong with my income, then you say, what you mean what's wrong with it? Meaning the income that you make from whatever profession you have or whatever career you have, it's not enough money to get you the way you want to go. I have a problem with it. If you don't address the problem with people's income, then even though we have the greatest opportunity to help people skyrocket the income, they won't even see they have a need for more money if a problem isn't present. Does that make sense? So what's some of the reality checks you use to help people?
One of the questions I always ask is, how old were you when you got your very first job? Let's say she says 15. I said, okay, no problem. How old are you today? I'm 25. Okay, so it's safe to say you've been working for at least 10 years, right? And I had to ask them this question. I said, don't say this out loud. Don't answer out loud, but just think about it in your mind. If you've been working for the last 10 years, man, how much money have you made and saved in the last 10 years? And how do you feel about that? And how would you feel if you did the same thing in the next 10 years, right? So obviously there's something that we need to tweak today to make sure that your next 10 years is 10 times better than the last 10 years, because I know you want to go into the next decade of your life doing something bigger. And the reality of this is, how many decades do we have to get this thing right? Like, how many more decades can we go like this? So we obviously show the problem there, and then we get their attention open to receiving the information they need for us to give them, for them to become a part of our business team.
Yeah, and then one of my reality checks I use is just simply asking people, when you think about the lifestyle that you want to live, right, your dream life, you got to get people dreaming again, right? How much money per month would you say, and y'all probably use this already, but how much money would you say you need to start making on a monthly basis in order to live that dream lifestyle, right? We just don't focus on the things, right, the cars of the house. No, we focus on the money you think you're going to need to make to fund it. Once somebody said, well, I need 10, 15,000 a month to live how I want to live. Once I got that, then all I got to ask you is this. Okay, well, if you kept doing the same things you're doing right now, right, when do you think the job that you work will value you enough, right, to ever pay you that amount of money? And they say no. I said, well, can we be honest for a second then? In other words, can we be real for a second? Right? My question is, if you go to work to a place where you know they will never pay you the amount of money you work, then my question is, why do you keep doing that? Like, why do you keep going? Does that make sense? And it creates that pop like that. I never thought about it like that, right? But then I said, well, if an opportunity came across your table that could pay you that extra $10,000 a month so you can live how you want to live, how soon would you want to take advantage of it? They say right now, and now the mind is open and ready to close when we teach the concepts about what we do, right? Next thing is this, as we go towards the end of this, right? And this is the last thing we'll share with y'all, right? Always remember this: the biggest recruiters in the company are the boldest recruiters in the company, right?
Yes, they are.
Listen, we have more people in this company that make over $100,000, $1 million than anybody. I'm trying to figure out, why are we still selling this opportunity at a discount? Like, why do we talk about it like we want people to take a no, do y'all, and I got some on this, right? It says, how much do you showcase the Black Book of Success? You say the Black Book of Success. Let me tell you, Joe Wall mentioned this a little while ago, right? Do y'all realize African Americans and the money that African Americans are making on a monthly basis right now is nothing short of miraculous, historical, whatever big word, amazing. So what I'm saying, one of the things we start doing, look, we go to the AALC boards, RVP and above, and we show the monthly income. Do y'all realize if y'all went to the boards right now, right, and you went to main cash flow, they got almost 200 people. You think the board goes to like 182. They got almost 200 people that made over 20 grand last month.
That's a big deal.
I say, listen, there's no company that has a bigger Black Book of Success than Primerica Financial Services right now in the AALC, right? Primerica is the biggest company cutting the biggest checks to the most people that look like us during the worst time. Oh, yeah, you gotta be bold about that.
You gotta take the verbiage we give you and you gotta attack it boldly. You gotta take the text messages, the phone calls, the scripts, everything that we give you, you gotta do it boldly. You gotta prospect boldly with a confidence that this company is life-changing. Does that make sense? So don't just do it timidly, do it confidently and boldly that you are in the right place at the right time with the right people. So thank you so much, AALC, for having us.
Appreciate that.
Beast Nation Volume 2, we wouldn't be here without y'all. So thank y'all so much.
Appreciate that.